bans and try and catch up as soon as possible. This is LNG versus AL, and already, ooh, okay, I see a Veigar, see a Thresh, Aphelios on that bot side for LNG, and a Rumble. Rumble did pick up a couple of small little buffs there recently, so definitely, well, small in the grand scheme of things, but definitely feeling like a carry champion you to the top side.
Yeah, you know, Rumble's buffs, if I recall correctly, how they were spoken to me, and I would have to go and double check in the patch notes, but the EMR shred,
you go for it.
The EMR shred now stacks, so if you hit a target with 2 electric harpoons, they just have 80% less MR. There is just
not 80%, but
is it multiplicative?
It's not quite multiplicative. So if you hit them with the first, it goes to 12%, but if you hit them with the second one, it's success.
But
24%. Yeah,
but in overheat.
In overheat, maybe. I'm not quite sure exactly how that interaction works.
Yeah, so it's something really ridiculous. Either way, the MR shred is crazy. And yeah, Rumble, generally, there are a lot of immobile carries in this meta, right? And we're with 2 of them. Veigar, Aphelios, absolutely despise dealing with things like Rumble ult. And if you're, you know, an old head to League of Legends, you recall how powerful, an old head, I mean, you know, season 5, season 6. You remember how powerful Rumble used to be at the early Dragon skirmishes and at just making immobile champions' lives hell. So we'll see what ZZ can get done. And into a pick like Ksante, I would suspect it has a pretty decent laning phase. As Rumble often does into most melee champions, but
I was gonna say Rumble tends to have a decent side, and this is the thing with Rumble. Like obviously you mentioned the historical kind of nature of Rumble, but see maybe a little bit of an engage in the spot side. I think it should be easy for SwordArt and Betty just to back himself away. But Rumble has always been known as this kind of like aim lane prowess that kind of slowly falls off a little bit later on into the game. And you start to get those super tanks like Ksante and Sion, those things that can, you know, kind of just survive and, you know, pick up a or 2 magic resistance item on the rest of your team. Now, though, I would say that with the electric harpoon, getting that extra magic resistance shred, that becomes a much different conversation because he not only has incredible team fighting capabilities, but he's also going to be able to kind of stop whoever is tanking in front of him from being that ultra.
Yeah, and I mean, to be entirely honest with you as well, I feel like Rumble in today's sort of version of League of Legends compared to that of old, honestly, he scales like not only fine, that's a really nice death sentence, but he scales more into like the range of the enemy team more than anything, right? I feel like that's the big thing as League of Legends has continued to grow in the roster with it. It feels like, to me, you know, a lot more range has been added to League of Legends. Also, range is valued a lot more by pro teams, usually. Smile. And that's where Rumble can feel and fall a little bit short, right? If he's not able to actually get on top of a target and lane spitter them to death, then he's just an equalizer bot, and sometimes equalizer can be very hit or miss, right? It's not a guaranteed to be strong ability. Sometimes you will just kind of just miss them up. So we'll see. In this kind of game, I feel like you could definitely struggle, but still provide a lot of value, right? When you've got the diving power of Ahri, Wukong, plus the Rakan, getting locked down on top of an equalizer has to mean certain.
Absolutely. I tend to agree with that. Just curious as well. We are seeing what work there for Zika up in that top side. So saying, look, grass be undying. I ain't buying it. I need sustain in this lane. Otherwise, I'm going to die. So very curious to see him kind of rush towards that particular ruin as the alternative. But, you know, still works out. Still does what it needs to be done. And yeah, got a little bit of resolve.
Still gets resolve. Still gets the healing. Personally, as I said, I feel like it's just fun. just stacking it. It's just a bit of dopamine, you know, extra permanent health. I feel like you can't really undervalue that, and I think generally it's still fine. It's just less of a laning rune now, right? I think that's the big point. And I will say, especially for a champion like Ksante, who actually values flat health almost over any other stat, to be honest with you. I'm surprised he's not on it, but also being in range to get anything by Rumble feels bad, and the additional bit of sustain is going to just keep him in front of Rumble's face for longer, so definitely understand it either way.
See if LNG can make something work here. Don't think so, because there's a ward. It's going to spot out Tarzan, and will say Tarzan has had probably one of the, I mean, it's hard to say one of his best splits because he is always so damn consistently good, but really does feel like he is on top form at the moment and doing so much to be able to create the advantages that LNG have done. And like we talked about, you know, LNG previous, you know, times gone have been seen as a little bit of a fraudster team, a team that haven't been able to, you know, make the results count right until the end. I will say they got very damn close in summer 2022. They almost made the gauntlet run and sadly did fall at the final hurdle, but it does feel like this is a little bit different now. With Scout here in the mid lane, Tarzan on the form of his life, it does feel like right now we are looking at a very, very powerful LNG. But oh, Flash! He burnt there as SwordArt felt very aggressive. The Ignite comes down onto Hong, who keeps all of his summoners available to him. And while this is all happening, we do have the Ahri and the Wukong kind of taking away this dragon. So far, AL, like I said, they're out of playoffs. They are done, dusted in the dirt. Not going to be having a postseason, but they're... I said this to you in the break, and I said this to you at the start of the day. I am so surprised when teams come out and they just have no pressure because they can just play the way they want to play.
Yep. Yep.
It's only early game. It's only 5.5 minutes, but I'm excited.
I will acknowledge that teams with no pressure often are the ones that make the upsets happen. But also...
versus RNG last split.
Yeah. Also, I just don't think it's going to happen. Or maybe I'm the fool. You know? Maybe I am. Hello.
Oh, Ignite. It's going to be a solo bolo. It is going to be a solo bolo. Tarzan wasn't there in time. We talked about that magic shred, and those harpoons are starting to do work.
I love how we both sat there. There was no play-by-play. There was no... We just sat there silently. Forget the job. We just had to watch that and let it happen.
Yeah.
That was so much damage from ZDZ. And I mean, what can do? Like, you know, buffs on the E... a lot squishier if you get hit by that ability, and the overheat into those empowered auto attacks. It's just really well managed as well, the spells coming out, because you'll see it's E into Q plus the R, right? And that is the maximum DPS combo that you can get. Even though he does miss a harpoon or one of those harpoons, you can still see Zika just can't do anything. He doesn't have to stand up to that. ZDZ finds himself a solo kill. We'll see if he can snowball. That's the crucial thing in a matchup like that, as Zika now has a little bit more magic resist to work with. But Merc Treads, at that point, you're only really working with the flat, you know, MR that you get, just 25 plus the movement speed. It's not really much about the tenacity.
Again and again, we're seeing more and more kind of answers to the Ksante, and I do like that we are seeing it, as we do have a Lantern. Ward did not go down in time. That will be killed as well. Unfortunate. But again, I like that we're seeing answers into the Ksante. Because when first release was just straight up a blind pickable, and also just so powerful that you could not only blind pick it to be safe, but you could blind pick it because it was the best thing on the meta. Right now, we are seeing plenty of things that are doing a lot more to deal with that kind of a setup. As we can see, another Lantern get called out. The cleanse there, use Flash. Oh, that's a great play from Hong. Really, really well done now, as we can see. Maybe Pin Z moving forward does, however, know that there's somebody in the brush. And LP keep alive. Great move there from Hong. Really, really well done there to make sure his AD carry does not go down.
Everyone really did their part there, from top to bottom. LP cleanses the Ignite, Lantern out, Hong stopping the engage from the Wukong. And I've got to say, really, really nice intuition from Pinji as well, just to kind of second guess that Tarzan might be in that bush, as I say that and praise it.
Oh, good flash! Oh. Good flash there, and there's Tarzan having to use his own there. Scout just kind of sitting in that mid lane. This is the thing, the Veigar's good. Betty, hello.
Well, once he skates in, he's kind of
yeah,
there.
I was going to say, like, he's just kind of there, but flashes and summoners being burned left, right, and center, but nobody going down. It's still only a one-kill game, and it's ZDZ honestly is delighted with this, because it means he gets to keep farming.
Yeah, ZDZ, AECS. 84, actually, really, really close to perfect CSing. I think he's probably only missed around 6 or 7 creeps. Math serves me right. I can't remember what the perfect CS numbers are anymore.
I know a while ago, I think it was like 2018. Obviously, the game is very different to what it was 5 years ago. Someone did do a spreadsheet of like what perfect CS means in each lane and stuff like that. So You get as good as you can. As we do see the Moonlight Vigil coming out, that's going to be SwordArt taking a fair bit of damage. As Zeri and SwordArt might be a little bit of lightning. Hong is tanking the turret. He's going to be forced to flash away. They will get the kill. And SwordArt, the only one who didn't burn his flash in the last thing. Actually, neither of the supports losing their flashes means they are able to get themselves out. So, good response here from LNG as they start to find themselves a little bit of roam pressure with this Veigar.
Yeah, really well executed dive there. And I think it was just reset timing off the back of Pinch Z, where Scout just has the opportunity to move down, and everyone, again, in LNG, teamwork is making the dream work right now. Stopping a lot of the play from Crew, but also finding their own on that dive. Really well done.
We'll go back into this and kind of see where everyone is kind of going. Like, you know, ZDZ is going to be getting up to his... I imagine it to be the Dark Harvest. Could maybe go for the Proto Belt, but as a Rumble aficionado myself, I do tend to prefer the Dark Harvest
item? Or do you mean like the actual rune? You want him to go?
Oh, sorry, the Dark Harvest item. Sorry, I definitely call it Dark Harvest as the rune.
Like Night Harvester? You talking about
Night Harvester? Yes. So I was just like,
okay.
Wait a minute, this sounds incorrect in my head, but I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. it's what I'm here for, right? That's what I do.
You keep me on the straight and narrow. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Wait, you're getting paid? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
this isn't a voluntary broadcast. What are you talking about?
Oh,
imagine. That'd be so. What a twist.
What a twist.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
That is Robot Chicken.
Okay. Robot Chicken? Wow.
That is Robot Chicken. I know that because I used to quote it all the damn time. Because when everyone was like watching Family Guy and South Park and stuff, I was watching Robot Chicken because I was hipster as hell.
There you go.
That's what I was doing with my time. But yeah, not quite the twist we were looking for. As you can see, AL looking fairly decent to now set themselves up for a little bit of an early soul. Got themselves the second dragon of the game. Even have the Rift Herald as well. So in terms of the neutral objectives, they are the ones coming out on top. Yes, it is only a couple of 100 gold lead, but it is still looking very, very good. I was just about to say you do not want to do that, and thankfully his Spidey sense kicked in.
That would have been like the most hilarious like anti-cost cuss ever. Oh, things looking pretty good for AL, 2 dragons. Oh, and they've been donated another kill. How excellent is that?
Fantastic.
Yeah, great.
Oh, wow, stunning.
Well, yeah, like you've mentioned, AL, no pressure. They're up 2 dragons. They're sat very comfortably, Oisin. Is that -1? Did you get that? I wasn't so bad.
I have to look at the replay.
Yeah.
This is where I wish we had our own one, so we do see now LP forced to cleanse as the Ignite did come out and the quickness, so getting a 2-for-1 deal there, but the rest of AL were moving themselves down towards this bot side. Gonna drop down Shirley and Scout. Scout! Not where you need to be. Does have Sonya's, so he goes into the broken stopwatch stasis, but flashes are going to be enough. I don't know. That Moonlight Vigil is decent. They're going to fully commit onto this. Tarzan has to go first. He wanted to make something happen, but the health bars are too healthy, and no one's got really any damage to go from.
Donates his life over to the play. It's the Herald charge is what brought everyone down here. Just collapse on Scout. Fortunately, had that stopwatch, I think from runes, it activates at 14 minutes, but the kill he got earlier gives it to him now. And they just have vision on him, so they know where to go once they put the Herald down. Charm connects really well, predicted by Pinji, and where the pathing would be. Stopwatch comes out, knock up, well timed, the flash away comes out. And you feel like Moonlight Vigil burst, like almost mentally baits Tarzan into thinking, yeah, this is a good team fight. It just wasn't, and AL handed another kill. They have themselves 2,000 gold lead, so they're staying pretty alright for now.
Tell you, man, it's the pressure off. No pressure, no problem. For LNG, honestly, like this is a huge match for them. Like they are still in the hunt for top 2. That would get them into an immediate double elimination. It would honestly, I think, be their highest regular seasons finish in ever, I believe. And you're still fighting JDG. You know, you're playing your game in hand now. JDG are 10-3, you're 9-3. JDG are on +14 game distance, you're on +12. So you need this win, and you need to be a 2-0 in order to kind of really put pressure on that. And even looking at the rest of their games, They've got a couple more left, but they're, you know, it's AL, then it's IG. You know, we've question marks about that team. Ultra Prime, LGD. Three of your last 4 games are against non-playoff caliber teams. I will say LGD definitely not going to be the easiest of markers to kind of take down. They've looked fantastic in recent form, but this isn't something that you need to be kind of, you know, having this moment now. I do think that AL are definitely looking a little bit stronger. They're looking a little bit faster to the mark, and they're just pulling the trigger every damn time. They just look good.
Snap engagement, so powerful. And it just feels like LNG are a little bit lackadaisical to this game almost. It's the approach they're taking. It's just really, really slow. And I mean, it's one of those hard things to take on because at the end of the day, pseudo nature of their comp is just that, right? Got Aphelios.
A lot of scaling.
They've got Veigar. There's just so much scaling, right? So all we can really do is just sit here and praise AL for finding the opportunities that they're finding, right? Solo kill on the top side, eventually lead to this tower dropping on the top side of the map. Really well played there. SwordArt will not get caught out by that cage. Just doing what they have to on the map right now. They'll likely prioritize that Herald in a minute or so after the next dragon. As that is where I expect anyone's legend will put their focus down on, as Tarzan just doesn't really need to be on these Raptors, so we'll back away. Or not. Smile.
No.
No, he doesn't want to. That's
What
okay.
a twist.
What a twist, yeah.
But yeah, again, it's just kind of slowly making things work. Having and AL are very happy with this. They have a 3,000 gold lead, just a little bit underneath it. First down across the board. The Immortal Shield Bow, in my opinion, gives you a little bit more kind of, you know, stats in terms of the little things compared to the Bloodthirster. And I will say, even then, like, LP's not going anywhere near his mythic for the next while. Like, he's going from Bloodthirster into what looks like an IE, so not going to have the double shields available to him. And now with a TP mid, we're going to see a lot of pressure put in towards this dragon, and cleanse used by the spellbook of Pinzi.
Cleanse up means that you can just get a little bit more aggressive, walk through a hook, a cage, whatever it may be. But this is ZDZ's power point. Get Boots, Night Harvester, level 11, upgraded damage on that ultimate. So choke control, really big deal. And LNG also have to not, they just can't bunch up. Cannot bunch up at all. They bunch up, they'll get one shot. Snap engage has been so quick from AL. And I think on top of an equalizer, it'll be even faster.
ZDZ needs to back away. He goes back into the equalizer. Hung gets down a little bit, half his HP. ZDZ in a lot of trouble there, but Tarzan is not able to finish off the damage. Thresh goes down, but you can see there with the Veigar just kind of pushing forward. Double kill coming in here for Scout. 3-0-0. And that could be Dragon here now for LNG.
4 versus 5. We praised how AL have been really good on the snap engages, but Betty wasn't at this affair. He just wasn't at the party. LNG, all the triggers. They know they can fight ZDZ. Xiaohao, like you say now, at the side, Cage is gonna zone. Is it enough time though?
I don't know. They're gonna look to try and burst it out now. They can see it go down. It's spiked too early because it ends up resetting. Tarzan wanted to go for the fight, and the dragon ends up getting neither. Now we're gonna see the cleanse being used straight away. Xiaohao gets his decoy over the side. Betty trying to just pipe this one out, and will do so. But a third dragon, Earth, Wind, and Fire for AL, and they are looking like they're gonna have another big fight in 5 minutes' time.
Oh, that is so unlucky for Tarzan. I just kind of feel bad, but it will pay out. The first part of the fight definitely didn't. Equalizer comes in to try and slow down the approach here, but yeah, ZDZ still out. So does manage to bring Hong with him. Turns into a 4v3. SwordArt gets knocked back and dies to damage, but again, like, Mage wasn't here. He simply was not here. It's now the 3 versus 4 situation. It's just this dragon resetting. And one thing I would like to know as well, though it isn't really highlighted in the HUD, is that the smite was upgraded to Xiaohao. So this was a weighted smite fight. He had 1.2k, Tarzan only had 900 either way. But the reset, definitely a little bit solid.
Definitely, and the thing is, yes, you lost the fight, but you didn't really lose anything after that. But now we might see a little bit more. There's a flash there for ZDZ. Hung used himself over the wall, gets himself the box down, and you flash after that point. I feel like that's ZDZ being a little bit muscle memory there with that, trying to make the most out of nothing. But now 4-0-0 onto this Veigar. I mean, Scout, we talk about late game scaling. He's huge. He's already got himself fully stacked up. He's going to have his Zhonya's in no time at all.
Yeah, gonna have that Zhonya's in just no time at all. Row is about to be stacked in a minute's time. Not a bad game for Scout at all at the moment. He's going to find PNG as well. No primordial burst, but the cage is going to force the flash and the cleanse return. Fight his spell, so it's okay.
Spellbook is good. Spellbook is decent, you know. That's why we see it being picked up by mid laners and top everyone, to be honest with you, who can. It's a very powerful summoner that can get you out of bad situations, but now Betty's getting a little bit more online. He is going a little bit more traditional with the Zeri build, going for that big team fight one. This is something I think Betty has been doing almost exclusively on the Zeri, is that he doesn't really feel like he needs to go for the Navori quick blades or anything like that. He goes straight for the Runans. He knows that he's going to have to be a team fighter, and that's what he wants to do.
Interesting take, I will say. I'm not really much a number cruncher. You know, I let the guys that work the spreadsheets do that. I'm curious on what like the return is, like, you know, the output at the end of the day. Quick blades were nerfed. Not enough on the next patch. Not this one. Oh my god!
I mean, I don't know numbers, but
you know what? It's fine. Runans is good. You know, I didn't even get to toss to you for yeah, that was just LP getting one shot. And AL will probably look towards the Baron now with one of the damage dealers dead, but the other damage dealer in Scout is still up and available. He's level 14 now, leveled up from the rower.
2 levels ahead.
Yeah.
This is difficult. We'll take it fairly quickly here as a rumble on your team. See going forward does not land anything, but there's a good hook there on the SwordArt. It's not really the target you want. They're jumping on the Betty, who flashes away, and they do get the Zeri on the back end. The Baron, the secret 6th man of LNG, does finish off the AD carry, and without that extra bit of AD damage, it's not really an objective they can go for, and more summoners are burned for the minute 20 till this Dragon Soul.
Yeah. I just need to see it again. No analysis, just numbers. It's clipped by the charm. You can see as well, Zika's doing his best to try and body block everything he can, but it's not quite enough. You can see just touching the equalizer for a second, 400 HP, or 350, just chunked out of you. And it's just going to continue to get harder and harder to deal with that. And I'm not actually sure. Did LP go Gale? No, because he's got PT, so he can't even Gale Force off the...
Yeah. Kong has been exceptional so far this game, but to say maybe getting caught out would not be the ideal situation, as SwordArt and PNZ just kind of sneak themselves into this brush. Zika says stand out of the way as he jumps into the W of the Zeri, but they're just kind of waiting right now because they know there's 20 seconds of this dragon. And LNG have not presented themselves very strongly towards this objective, so it is just going to be a little bit of a poke moment, as you can see there. Q's being thrown there by PNZ.
This choke is so difficult, and honestly, I feel like Infernal, unironically, might make this a bit more difficult for LNG, because it's just an extra choke that they have to walk through. The rotation's going to be good though. SwordArt isn't going to get ulted by Tarzan yet. So that's nice, but at the very least now LNG have made it into the river, which is good. But yeah, again, SwordArt has the quickness. There's the engage.
They're gonna jump on the PNZ for the moment. The charm does land. That means the equalizer come out on the Scout. Loses about 2/3 of his HP, but that's 2 big ultimates no longer available for AL. Dragon resets. That's big for LNG. You can see SwordArt really wants this fight, and they're gonna find it now immediately. Flash into the quickness as All Out is not gonna do anything. LP will die. He flashes in vain, and LNG will lose the soul. And it looks like they're losing control of this game.
Yeah, the only thing that LNG are all out of is options right now. Anyone's Legend, they're going to pick up the Infernal. And I think too many stats now. Baron up and available for Anyone's Legend to go and collect as well. Maybe Scout makes a miracle happen. He's got Smite. Now, see, the issue is he doesn't have Smite flat. I think he had Smite. He might have swapped over after the fight happened. So he's not going to make it into the pit unless there's a Blast Code? Nope, okay.
Nope.
hung teleportation device in. Give it the Rakan! Get him in!
Oh my god!
Get him in!
Oh
Wait,
my god!
oh,
I wanted it so
oh
bad!
my
I
God.
wanted it so bad! It was almost there. The Baron actually stopped Spin C from getting his resets off, and now he might be in a hell of a lot of trouble. Never mind, he's taken a weird and wonderful journey, but he's now got himself one dead, maybe even two. This could be devastating for AL, but look at Benny. He's still putting out the damage. He's against 2 carries. They for their Barons. Oh, Jamada, I wanted Smite to happen so bad.
Oh man, like it was just about to be Thresh Airways right into the Baron pit, but they just see it's at 2.4k. They don't feel like they can really get through that much damage. The Smite as well. Now I can't remember how the new Smite interactions work with Spellbook, admittedly, but I know at a point it changes over to being that 1.2k. So the flashiness to get vision with the Death Sentence on the Baron, see it's at this mark. I guess the split decision call is that they just can't burst it, right? If it's at like 2.4, 2000, 1.8, anything lower than where it was, they would have maybe committed for that. As a commentary, like you said, Pinji kind of doesn't manage to get the resets of the Baron rather than up, but the re-engage is excellent. The Scout, at the very least, able to pick up a kill on the back end and strip away an extra Baron buff from one of the members here from Anyone's Legend.
I mean, Scout's just foregoing his Zhonya's right now, seeing, look, I'm not dying, and I've got a crap ton of gold, and I'm going to be doing damage. So he's got himself a Void Staff to try and build into what I imagine a Death Cap next. This is where the game starts to get a little bit funky here for LNG. You need to be able to hold off this Baron push for another minute 20. You're going to lose this top tier 2. That's fine, though. As long as your base doesn't crack, you're still in a decent position. And Infernal Soul doing excellent work here to try and make sure that AL can just keep everybody away. And I will say SwordArt has been fantastic on these flank engages, really position to make sure that every single time LNG look to try and go for an engage, he is there to counteract it.
Doing an excellent job. All in all, Anyone's Legend. And will the meme ring true? Old LNG losing to last place Anyone's Legend. We did say, God, that at the end of the day, no pressure. What was it? No problems, I believe.
Yeah, no pressure, no problems.
So
no pressure, no playoffs, no pressure, no problems.
a lot
it
of
rings
no's.
true, man. It rings true.
It does ring true. It just feels like a sport thing, doesn't it? It's not even really bound to esports. It's just like team with nothing to lose, stripping away like championship potential, like
why I'm
shots
terrified of the England-Ireland game this weekend.
Now
I
don't follow rugby.
Really?
So England
is terrible.
They bad.
Yeah, they lost like 58-10 to France at home last week. So, yeah, it's a tough one.
Aren't England like traditionally?
Yes,
like,
very good.
So whilst we have a moment to breathe, rugby talk for like 20 seconds for the 3 people in Twitch chat that I can know about. Okay,
woo! Go on, Twitch chat rugby mods.
Are they just like in a trough right now where like some of their like strong legacy players have just written, like some of the new players are coming in, or
it's kind of like they're in this weird transitionary period where there's a lot of like older players that are at the end of their life cycle, but they're not quite done. Not even past their prime. They're still good, but you're kind of looking to the future rather than actually like, you know, trying to figure out, you know, if you were to put out your best team on paper, it wouldn't be some of the new guys, but then you kind of need to play the new guys, and it's not really working out, and they don't really know. They actually just swapped their coach because it wasn't really working, so it's a lot. I will tell you, though, Ireland are #1 in the world, ranking-wise, and it's a World Cup year, so the World Cup's in France. I'll be going, and I'm very excited. Ireland has never made it past the quarterfinals, and I'm really hoping we beat that this year.
Me too, man. Me too. You know what? Yeah, sure. I hope you guys beat it as well.
You're all right. You're all right.
Hey, man. You can't.
Very prideful when it comes to rugby.
Yeah, that's okay.
We're a very small island nation of 5 million. But actually, we're technically 7 million because Ireland is also inclusive of Northern Ireland in rugby terms, but they don't use the Irish tricolour. They use a specific Irish rugby flag when they play.
Right.
Yeah, and we don't do the Irish national anthem either. We do a specific Irish rugby anthem. Yeah, it's called LPL. So, yeah, it's very inclusive. Very nice kind of setup. But speaking of setup, 30 seconds till Elder Drake spawns. And tell me how this one's got to go down. LG got to win this.
Yeah, I think if LNG lose this dragon fight, they'll probably lose the game.
He's fine at the moment. You look at the equalizer, but that's an incredibly short cooldown at this stage in the game, though.
Yeah, if you remember, when Rumble came into the jungle role, that ultimate cooldown was buffed significantly. He's not quite level 16, so it's not insane, but already a core of the way through. So AL can just play slow. They'll be alright, but in that mind, LNG go forward now.
They go in. Pinzino stops everyone from moving in on top of the AD carry, but there we go. We can see that Ksante finds his mark. They've traded his support for a mid laner and an AD carry. As you can see now, it's all on LP, but he hasn't got his mythic. He's just not got the damage right now. This 2-item build just ain't it. And he's going to be forced all the way back. You can see him flashing away, but that's Elder going over to AL. And honestly, they can Elder, they can Baron, they can probably end the game.
Yeah, and I think the other crucial thing is LP was stuck on red-purple that entire game fight. Not able to dish out the DPS that he really needs to then. 92 items. Just not the best situation to be at. Tarzan is beelining down here. Oh, he's actually... He's going to be here in time, but I think he's going to be zoned away.
Equalizer, yep. He needs to try and go for something. They know it's game over if he doesn't get this dragon, or at least the fight afterwards. There's one, so it's not going to be one. LP doing some real big work right now. Red, white, let's fight, and you don't want nothing of this. Zeri is coming back. Betty is alive. But LP finally finding the right guns. I love that you made highlights of that because you can see just how powerful it is when he gets the right ones. There's a hook. It's going to stop Pinzy from resetting. And it means they get more time for Tarzan to respawn.
I can just imagine, like, in the comms with AL, they're just like, LP, he's yeezing, run away. he's got the gun.
Oh my god. But look, LNG, they needed that. I think Tarzan made the right call of going in on a bit of a suicide mission because that gave them now the time to get this back to a 5v5.
Yeah, ZZ's dead as well. He doesn't have teleport, so he's got to walk all the way back here. He is one of the big team fight, points for anyone's legend. So LNG could just beeline it down here. They've got Scout and coat on the dragon already. Pull it out a bit. I mean, this is the only chance. If you don't get this dragon, you just lose the game, so you have to flip this.
Here we go. They're going to look for it to flash in and land on the LP, but he immediately fences it away. They're going to try and jump onto Betty. Scout is dead. SwordArt trying to do something. LP, though, is still putting in work. ZDZ has joined in. The equalizer is solid, but it's only going to tickle down these health bars. ZDZ wants to do a little bit more. He is pushing forward. The hook will go completely wide. Zika getting caught out now, and LP is dead. They won't lose anything else off the back of this, and never mind, they will. They'll lose Zika as well. It looks like AL are done with this. They don't want to flip over the Elder anymore. They want to end the game.
Yeah, they've got a minion wave to work with. 4 versus 5 support in the jungle. Tarzan and Hunt just do not have a wave clear. And you expect anyone's legend should be able to end this one out. Tarzan will see what they can do, but this should just be signature at the bottom. There's no small print. It's just a game 1 victory. And with no pressure, no playoffs, it's no problem. And anyone's legend will secure the first game here in this series.
It means LNG will not be able to equal out ADG for the moment. Haven't lost the series just yet, but they have lost the first game. And AL looking so much stronger in this particular game, honestly, than they've looked all split long. And I do think that the Rumble helps a lot. Definitely seems to have caught out Zika by surprise on more than one occasion. And that equalizer doing so much to do more than just equalize for the side of AL.
Yeah, namesake, ultimate gameplay, and LNG, they need to collect themselves, shall we say, and do it damn quick, because losing to anyone's legend is not exactly something that myself or many people had on their bingo cards.
I did.
Oh, you did? Well, you did. Okay, all right, buddy. All right, we get it. But, falling behind the pace on this top 2 race and, worse to anyone's legend would just be a bit of a blow to, pride, I guess. Especially when, like you mentioned, the remainder of their games are, mostly playoffs hopefuls, teams in the mix, all right? That's about it. I think LGD is one of the teams. I can't remember the third. But
LGD, and I believe it was Ultra Prime.
Ah, okay, there you go. So, like, you know, these are teams that they should realistically all be beating, right? IG obviously have their very big mojo days, so I'm not going to say that that would necessarily be a confirmed victory. But the other 3 teams, you know, LNG have typically kind of dispatched these guys very, very easily. As we're flying through all of the post-game, trying to catch up to live. Of course, Pinji will get MVP for this one. Makes sense. Just kind of did his job. Was very hard to catch. Only died once.